Welcome back to this important YouTube channel, and in today's video I would like to talk about time as a cultural aspect. And in talking about time, I'll also talk about the way AbaBemba give us the names in the manner they do. Okay, the way AbaBemba name their children. Okay, and then I want to encourage you, let us grow this channel, let us learn. So I would like to ask you to subscribe. Okay, subscribe to the channel so that you can get notifications when we post a new video. Okay, and I would like you also to ask you to share with other people so that they also can subscribe to this channel, and then we learn from one another. I welcome comments on whatever topic we are discussing so that we can engage in further dialogue. Okay. Now, when you talk about time, time looks like a very neutral thing. Okay, it's neutral and abstract frame of reference. But for us, time is not neutral. Okay, time is not neutral. You see? But then let me not talk about time in general. I want to talk about a very specific time, and it's the time, because what happens with time is that we have the time that we have in the present, okay, and then we have the time that is withdrawn from direct experience, which is the future and the past. These are very important points of reference. Okay? When you look at ancient Jews and also now the Christians, the way they look at time, these two pieces of time, the past and the future, the Jews and the Christians, I think, look at the future as the normative. When we are talking about the normative, we are talking about what is normal. Okay, what you believe is the normal thing, the standard. Okay, for Christians, the future is the normative. What does that mean? The Christians locate what they believe is the essence of Christianity in the future. And what do they locate in the future? The kingdom of God. Okay? The kingdom of God is located in the future, after death. Okay? And because it's located in the future, what is happening in the present is directed to the normative, the kingdom of God. Okay, for an average Christian person, they model their present life. They align to the kingdom of God, the normative. Okay, so what they're aligning, whatever they are doing now is they want to not to deviate, not to lose hold of what is expected of them in the kingdom of God. Okay, so the kingdom of God, which is in the future, becomes the normative. Okay, now the present. Okay, in the present, the Christians hope that they can achieve the establishment of the conditions as they will be, okay, as they will be in the time of the kingdom of God in future. Okay, and that's why for the Christians that do read the Bible, you'll find at a certain point when Jesus was on earth, and I think it was around the time when he was about to leave, his apostles, the followers, the disciples, asked him how to pray. Okay, and what was the response of Jesus? Let me just quickly reference that to the Bible. I think I should have a Bible nearby here. If you read the Bible in the book of Matthew chapter 6, okay, and the whole prayer is from verse 9 to 13, but I just want to pick one aspect on verse 10. Okay, in the end, the way Jesus introduced the whole thing was that in praying, do not babble like the pagans, who think they will be heard because of their many words. Do not be like them. Your Father knows what you need before you ask Him. Okay, this is how you are to pray. Okay, maybe let me just read that. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Now, this is very important. Your kingdom come here on earth as it is in heaven. Okay? For the Christians, their primary purpose is to achieve and have some kind of establishment of things in the present as they would want them to be in the future. So the kingdom of God, which is in the future, is the model, it's the norm. Okay, and all the things that the Christians will do on earth are aligned towards that. Now, when you look at AbaBemba and a few other people, okay, they have a different perspective on time. For AbaBemba, okay, the past, kunuma, that is the normative. Okay, for the Christians, it's the future, the kingdom of God. For AbaBemba, it's the past. In the past, that's where you find the normative. Okay, so the present for most of AbaBemba, what they live for in the present is the desire. Okay, the desire to achieve the establishment of the conditions as they were in the past. Okay, our ancient Egyptians had the same concept actually. We are related, so it's quite similar. Because even for the ancient Egyptians, again, many thousands of years before the birth of Christ, they believed that the important thing to do in the present is to achieve the establishment of the conditions as they were at the time of Re. Re is a nature spirit. Okay? It's a nature spirit associated with the sun. So as things were during the time, and the ancient Egyptians believed the first ruler of Egypt was Re. So as things were at the beginning, that is how that their goal in the present is to just have a share of that. Okay, to mimic that, to move towards that. Okay, and that is the same thing that happens with AbaBemba. Okay? AbaBemba, all the things they are doing in the present are modeled on the past. That's where the Bemba naming system comes in. Hold on a little bit. When Bemba is born, we don't give a name right there. Okay? We don't give a name when a child is born. Okay. If it's a royal child that has been born, a future king, there is first that child has to make a covenant with the soil. Okay. There is a rite called ukunwa muchipamba. Muchipamba. Okay? Where they take the soil, mix it with water, make a drink, and they have to give the child, the future king, that drink before that child can taste the breast of its mother. Okay, the first thing is to make a covenant with the soil. Now for every other umubemba, you have to wait for the navel to dry off naturally and drop. When the navel drops, the navel cord, umutoto, when umutoto drops, AbaBemba will take that umutoto and bury it. Okushika, they bury it in the soil, Bemba soil, as it were. Okay, they have to bury it in the soil, so that umubemba makes a covenant with the land. Okay? Umubemba makes a covenant with the land before he or she can have a Bemba name. Okay? Once they bury mutoto in the soil, then they give you ishina ya mutoto, navo name. Where do they get such a name? When we are giving ishina ya mutoto, we get the name of an ancestor that lived exemplary personhood. Okay. An ancestor from the family, sometimes from the mother's side or the father's side, and usually they will take the recently deceased ones. Those who lived exemplary personhood, who lived normative ububemba, then they will say tulebweshe ishina lyabakantu, which means we are bringing back the name and the spirit of a deceased ancestor. Okay, now why do we do that? Why we do that is that we create a covenant with the past. We want the child who is born now to have a life close to, all as good as, or a little bit better than an ancestor that had lived that life before. Okay, so what you are doing is you are getting a name of an ancestor that lived exemplary personhood, and you give it to a child now with the hope that this child will have a life that is modeled on that ancestor. Okay, so what we are saying is that we are bringing back the spirit of an ancestor into this newly born child, so that this newly born child can also live exemplary personhood. So the past is what is directing our present. Okay, we are not looking to the future. We know what worked for us. We know what exemplary personhood is, and we want to mimic that, and that's why we give our children ishina ya mutoto, and it's the most important name that umubemba can get. Any other name can come and go, but not ishina ya mutoto. Ishina ya mutoto is permanent. Okay, what happens then also is that you don't get a spirit name from somebody who didn't live exemplary personhood. If there is an ancestor that didn't live exemplary personhood, you forget about that person. You don't bring back that spirit. Okay? You only bring back the spirit of those ancestors who lived exemplary ububemba. Okay, and that is what the importance of ishina ya mutoto. Ishina ya mutoto is extremely important. Actually, for many AbaBemba in the past, that was the only name they got. Except later on, when they had children, they would be called the father of or the mother of, and later on, when they have grandchildren, they would be a grandmother of or a grandfather of. Bashi na bashibualia na banabwali, bashikulubualia na banakulubuali, father of, mother of, grandfather of, grandmother of, so and so. Okay, so ishina lya mutoto for AbaBemba points to the normative in the past. We are different from AbaChristian. AbaChristian, their normative is in the future, the kingdom of God. Okay, something that will come. But for AbaBemba, it's in the past, something that they already lived. Okay, something that they already tested and found to be to be compliant. So that is a very significant difference. When you are talking about time, okay, it's not a neutral thing. Okay, that is, and I've been talking about this also when you want to talk about intercultural dialogue. Okay, what motivates a Christian person is different from what motivates UBUNTU. UBUNTU is motivated by the past. Okay, if you sit, for instance, if you are a royal and you sit on a throne, okay, you take up the spirit of everybody else that has sat on your throne before, and you are forced to be compliant, to live. They have set the normative. This is how things should be, and this is how things should be now. Okay, we don't look for, we look here. Okay. Okay, that's why we were talking about teaching Kolowondo. So if I am Mukuka, okay, when I was named Mukuka when I was born, okay, we have to take my name Mukuka where it was carved. Okay, my name came from my ancestor who had lived exemplary personhood, Bemba. And then my family said, okay, we had this person, this ancestor who lived a good life, so we want that good life to continue with this newly born child. So we want, probably I think it was we want that same good life to continue in our child now. Okay, and usually what happens is that if they bring back, for instance, the name of their grandfather, they will respect you also as their grandfather, because you are a chibuela, a comeback of that ancestor who had lived exemplary UBUNTU. So that is what I wanted to share with you today. I hope you continue following our channel and sharing with other people. Subscribe to the channel so that we can share more. There is more coming, I can promise you. Thank you for today.